Hello guys, Romans here and welcome to another music review. I review every album from a viewpoint of a musician, as I am a singer, songwriter and a bass player for my own group Jakobe. And last year we have released our debut album called Pursuits in Life. What makes it unique is that it's a pretty heavy prog rock without guitars. Instead you have drums, bass, saxophone and keyboards. You can check out two of our music videos on my YouTube channel. We're building our own monument and Fake the New Kind of Beauty, and also a studio live take of A Way to Oppose.
And take a look at our society. We wanna rise, despite our decay of morality. How many more signs do we need?
In the description of all these videos you'll find all the information about where is the record available. It's available on all digital platforms like Spotify, Tidal, Deezer, iTunes, Amazon, Bandcamp, but also in this digipack version of a CD with a very beautifully illustrated 20 pages long booklet. So in case you want one, all you need to do is contact me via an email, on Facebook or on Instagram, and you can get one through Bandcamp. And today I'm going to review the new album from Work of Art, Exhibits.
Music review. Music review.
I'm a huge fan of AOR. This is one of the subgenres that makes 80s so great, and some of the best albums I've ever heard were written in this genre. Some from the famous bands such as Journey, Toto or Survivor, some from the less known artists such as Strange Ways, Paul Jens or the early Eric Martin stuff. But honestly I was kind of avoiding most of the post-80s AOR bands for quite obvious reasons. First of all, if you really look at AOR, that's basically pop music. It's made in a more artistic and more rock way than the straightforward pop, but at its core it's an accessible, radio-friendly, commercial pop music. And as such, if you listen to a lot of artists in this genre, the ideas, the sounds and the melodies will just keep recycling, keep repeating themselves. And therefore I was sort of staying away from it because there's nothing new these new bands bring, and usually it's like one or two good songs per album, which is not enough. Even one of the biggest projects as of today in this genre, the Night Flight Orchestra, which I did a review of their latest album like 2 years ago, it was okay, but nothing really more than okay. And this is kind of where Work of Art steps in, and they are sort of an exception to this. Similarly to their colleagues from Sweden, and Work of Art are from Sweden as well, Heat. Heat are slightly more on the melodic rock front, but in terms of the melodic ideology, both of these bands come from the same background. And Heat is also a band that's an exception for me, because most of these glam rock, hard rock bands, it's just, you know, nothing new and nothing original, but they are exceptions, similarly to Work of Art. So quite obviously I was very excited about hearing their new album. So the album Exhibits came out yesterday, and as of now I've heard it 5 times. Let's dive right into the review. I will start this review with their second track on the album, which was also the first song they released from the album and that they shot a music video for, Be the Believer. This is exactly that feel-good, uplifting, extremely optimistic, melodic work of art that I like.
This time I know that I can change it all. Just let it go. You'll fall right into my arms. This is my call. Think I was made to be the believer. So make a wish you can have.
Another interesting song is Destined to Survive. I love those 80s synth riffs at the beginning that actually remind me of one of the biggest rock hits in Slovakia from Pavol Habera, Je to vo hviezdach. Unfortunately, after this, the song goes in a more of a traditional work of art way, which is a bit of a pity. I think I would have based it more on those synth riffs. Then we have two beautiful songs which are in the subgenre sometimes called light AOR. For example, Another Night, which is just a beautiful song.
Another night when you're not here beside me. Another night driving me insane.
and very nostalgic Let Me Dream, which has the 80s atmosphere that I totally love. One of the best tracks on the album is This Isn't Love, which has those typical Toto-ish keyboards at the beginning, and pretty much the whole song goes in that Toto way. And this is something that they initially got famous for, that their first album reminded a lot of people of Toto, and I think that this song is in that style, but in the best possible way. And I also really dig the keyboard / Hammond solo with that synthy end. Then there are a few more up-tempo songs that kind of remind me of their colleagues. Heat, for example, Gotta Get Out. Also, If I Could Fly, where even the singer at times reminds me of Eddie Grönwall. And probably the best of the three songs reminding me of Heat is Scars to Prove It, which has a great guitar riff with wah at the beginning. This is a very good song.
That shit went down, I got the scars to prove it. I'm gonna be okay. If we go again tomorrow, I will do it all again. I got the scars to prove it. I'm gonna be okay.
What You Want From Me is a song like many others in the genre, and I have probably heard too many songs like this, but even apart from that, I still like it a lot.
Tell me what you want from me. I'm sending out a message to your soul. Tell me what you need from me. I'm not letting go. Tell me what you want from me.
Usually I start my reviews with talking about the opening track, and I didn't do it here. So the opening track, Misguided Love, which is misspelled on Spotify like Misguided Love, I'm not sure what's that about, is a typical AOR song like many songs from the post-80s AOR bands, but I think that this is the weakest track because it's just an okay song, and this is kind of why I avoid most of these bands. And I left the best for the end, so my personal favorite track on the album, and one of the best tracks in the genre in like last 20 years, is Come Home. This is a bit more serious in its mood, and I really dig it. It has excellent chorus, and I kind of wish there were more songs like this on the album to kind of create some variety on the record.
Come back to the ones that you leave. We don't know the reason you refuse to see. Come on, yeah, you know that we're here, but you're far away. You're so far away from home.
I also love the keyboard solo here. This is an interesting thing. Most of the tracks on the album have a guitar solo, but there are 3 songs that have a keyboard solo. Personally, I wouldn't mind more of them on the album because to my ears, it's a much more fresh sound. So to sum up, there are many heard it before and cliche ideas, but more often than not, it doesn't really matter because this is a very solid album. There are some songs that will be lost in the shuffle, but as an artist and as a songwriter, I understand how extremely difficult it is to write music in this subgenre where pretty much everything has been said and done before. And usually it took them 3 years to come up with each of their albums, but this time it took them 5 years. This is pretty much as we can hope for from the artists playing this kind of a music, and I have a huge respect for these guys. Also, this album absolutely excels at one thing, and that is to totally cheer you up and fill you up with tons of positive and optimistic energy. Have you heard this album already? You can let me know in the comment section below whether you agreed or disagreed with me. How well do you think it compares to their previous stuff, maybe which is your favorite album from Work of Art. You can follow me on Facebook or on Instagram. You can find links to both in the description of this video below. If you like this review, don't forget to like, to share, to subscribe. You can check out my own original music, my live performances, my worst to best series, and quite a lot of other reviews as well. Thanks a lot for watching.